The stars above planet Varex slowly vanished. A black shadow covered the sky. But it was not a moon. It was not a cloud. It was a fleet. An alien armada had entered Earth's solar system. Thousands of ships, all shapes, all deadly. From the Zarkali Empire, one of the most feared civilizations in the galaxy. For 200 years, they had conquered planet after planet. They believed no one could stop them. Now they came for Earth. Admiral Kroll stood tall on the command bridge of his flagship. His armor glowed red. His four eyes blinked slowly as he stared at the screen. Earth looked small. Weak. Scan the planet, Kroll ordered. His tech officer tapped on a panel. Low-level satellites, small space stations, no major fleet detected. Kroll let out a dry laugh. So this is the human defense? Nothing? Another officer laughed. They are not ready. We strike now. 1 hour, and this planet falls. Kroll raised his clawed hand. No, we will make them fear first. Send a warning signal. Deep rumble. Echoed through space. All Zarkali ships began to charge their weapons, but they did not fire. They waited. Earth did not respond. But then the warning lights on the command deck began to flash. Something's coming, the tech officer said, his voice shaking. One contact. Large. Very large. Kroll frowned. Just one ship? Yes, sir. But the signature. It's not Zarkali. It's not any known race. Put it on screen. The screen showed a ship. Big, smooth, shiny, like polished black steel. It looked like a blade flying through the stars. Its engines burned bright blue. It moved silently, slowly, fearlessly, across the side. Glowing in white letters, HSS Titan, United Human FLE. To Kroll's jaw tightened. This, is human, no one answered. No one could believe it. It's alone, said the weapons officer. It must be a scout ship, but scouts don't look like monsters. The Titan came closer. Still no weapons activated. Still no message. Then something strange happened. The Titan sent a signal, not a warning. Not a threat, it was music. A soft human song played through every Zarkali speaker. A mix of piano, strings, and a quiet voice. Peaceful, slow, powerful. This, This is a joke, one officer said. Kroll didn't laugh. He listened. His eyes narrowed. The ship was still coming. The Zarkali aimed weapons. Ready to fire, but before they could lock on, the Titan disappeared. Where did it go? Shouted the tech officer. It jumped, faster than light. No drive signature. No countdown. Then it reappeared behind the last row of Zarkali ships. Seconds. Later it blinked again. Then again, it jumped from one side of the Armada to another like a shadow, like a ghost. Kroll stared at the screen. His claws shook. No ship can do this. The Titan finally stopped right in the middle of the fleet. All of its lights turned red. Its weapons powered on. A voice came through. This is Captain Mira Holt of the HSS Titan. You have entered human space. Turn around now. Silence then. One officer whispered, What if they're not weak? Kroll said nothing, because for the first time in his life, he was afraid. Admiral. Kroll had faced many enemies in the galaxy. He had seen firestorms, plasma bombs, and giant beasts. But never, This, the human warship, HSS Titan, moved like nothing. They'd seen before. It was big, silent, and fast to fast. Lock weapons, Kroll shouted. But every time they tried to target it, the ship blinked out of sight and reappeared somewhere else. Impossible, cried the weapons officer. We can't get a lock. It's teleporting. No, said the tech officer. It's bending space. It jumps faster than our systems can track. The Titan circled the entire fleet without firing. A single shot. It was not hiding. It was showing off. It wanted them to watch. The ship stopped again right in front of Kroll's flagship. The same calm voice echoed through every Zarkali ship. This is your only warning. Turn around and leave. Earth is not yours, Kroll growled. Fire everything. All Zarkali ships opened fire. Red beams, plasma torpedoes, nuclear pulses, thousands of blasts aimed straight at the Titan. But not one hit. The Titan rotated slightly. A glowing blue sphere appeared around it. The weapons passed through the ship but touched nothing. It's using a phase field, the tech officer whispered. It's a trick. Kroll shouted, keep firing. But then something happened. The Titan fired back. Not missiles, not beams. It released small black spheres, no bigger than a human fist. They drifted silently toward the nearest Zarkali ships. What are those? Asked an officer. The answer came too fast. The spheres touched the Zarkali. Ship's and everything inside shut down. No lights, no sound. Dead systems offline. Came reports from 5 ships. We've lost control. Kroll watched helplessly as his ships floated in space. Like broken toys, the Titan didn't destroy them. It disarmed them. It humiliated them. Send a signal to command, Kroll barked. Tell them, Earth has warships like gods. Even the signal couldn't go out. The Titan had blocked their communication. They were trapped, and then came the final blow. A second human warship appeared, not as large as Titan, but sleek and sharp. Its name glowed across the hull, HSS Valiant, and behind it, more ships. Dozens. Hundreds. The humans weren't alone. They had a fleet. The Zarkali. Armada had arrived with full force to crush a weak planet. Now they were surrounded by ships that didn't speak, didn't beg, didn't even care to fight. They simply watched. Kroll looked at the screen again, his eyes wide, his voice low. This was not a battle, he whispered. This was a message. The humans had shown what one ship could do. Now they showed how many ships they had. The Zarkali bridge fell silent. Then the human voice returned. We will not chase you. We will not destroy you. But no, this Earth is protected. The message ended. The Titan and the other ships slowly turned around and began to leave. No cheering. No celebration. Only quiet strength. Kroll sank into his chair. For the first time in his career, he had lost without a real fight. His armada had frozen, and now he understood why. Far away from Earth, on the dark red planet Zarkal Prime, the Zarkali High Council gathered inside a massive hall made of black stone and fireglass. The mood was not proud. It was not strong. It was full of fear. The video of the human ship HSS Titan had already reached the Empire. Billions of Zarkali citizens had seen it. Everyone had watched how the mighty Zarkali fleet froze and turned away. Some refused to believe it. This is fake, shouted Counselor Drash. A trick, human illusion. But others knew the truth. They had power, said Counselor Varn, older and wiser than the rest. We saw it. The ship moved like a ghost. It stopped our weapons. It silenced our ships. And it let us live. The room became quiet. Let us live, that part hit everyone. The humans didn't destroy the Zarkali ships. They didn't burn the fleet. They could have. But they didn't. That was what scared the council the most. They are playing a deeper game, Varn said. They want us to know they are strong but also controlled. Counselor Drash slammed his fist on the table. We are the conquerors. Of 50 worlds, we cannot show fear. We must strike back with full force. This time, we send everything. There was silence again. Then slowly, the council leader rose from his stone chair. He had ruled for 80 years. He was cold, wise, and dangerous. I agree, the leader said. We will not retreat. We will return, with more ships, with better weapons, with no warnings. He turned to Admiral Kroll, who had just returned from the failed mission. You will lead again. Kroll bowed his head, but his eyes were different now. He had seen something the others had not. He had seen human power up close. They have technology beyond us, Kroll said carefully. They are not what we believed. You fear them? Council leader asked. Kroll paused. Then he answered, I respect them. Good, the leader said. But now, you will defeat them. Kroll nodded slowly, though part of him knew it would not be easy. Meanwhile, on Earth, Captain Myra Holt stood inside the command center deep under the ice in Antarctica. The war room was quiet, filled with holograms and floating maps. A general entered. The Zarkali will come back. I know, Mira said, and this time they will bring more. I hope so, she replied calmly. The general looked at her, confused. You hope so? Mira walked to a window. Far below, inside a hidden dock, stood another human warship, bigger than Titan, longer than any ship ever built by humans. Its name, HSS Leviathan. The Leviathan had never been used in battle. It was the most powerful human ship ever made. Some called it the Planet Breaker. But it had stayed hidden until now. The Leviathan is ready, Mira said. Will it be enough? The general asked. Mira smiled softly. It won't be alone. Back on Zarkul Prime, Kroll stood before the new fleet. 10,000 ships, stronger, faster, loaded with every weapon the Empire had. The ships lit up the sky. The Zarkali people cheered. This time, they would crush the humans. No warnings, no fear, just fire. But in a quiet part of his heart, Admiral Kroll remembered the Titan, and he wondered, what would the humans show them next? The stars were quiet again. For one full Earth month, there was peace in the skies. But deep inside Earth's command centers, everyone was watching. Everyone knew the silence would not last. They were right. The Zarkali Armada returned. This time, the sky did not darken slowly, it turned black in seconds. Over 10,000 ships appeared above the edge of the solar system, each one larger, faster and deadlier than before. Admiral Kroll stood again on the bridge of his new flagship. His face was hard, his eyes were cold. He had not forgotten the shame of their last retreat. This time, Kroll said, "We do not stop. We do not speak. We destroy." His ships powered their weapons. Every system pointed toward Earth far below. Inside a mountain base in Alaska, Captain Mira Holt stood in front of the Earth Defense Command. The room was full of generals, leaders, scientists. The Zarkaliev entered Mars orbit, said a tech officer. All weapons hot. No signal, no communication. Mira nodded. They learned from last time. Now it's our turn. She turned to the massive screen behind her. The hologram showed Earth's defense grid, then a flicker from deep oceans, from the dark side of the moon, from the ice of Antarctica. The human fleet rose. HSS Titan, HSS Valiant, HSS Cyclone, HSS Horizon, HSS Leviathan, and hundreds more. Some rose like shadows, some burned like comets. All moved as one. The united human fleet was here. Mira walked toward the screen and spoke into her command. Mike, this is Captain Holt today. We fight not just to survive. We fight to show the galaxy who we are. The fleet jumped in space. The two sides stared at each other. Zarkali ships buzzed with energy, their formations perfect, their guns glowing red. Then came the humans, smaller, fewer, but confident. Each human ship had a smooth black hull, no weak points, no noise, only purpose. The Titan blinked forward. The Valiant followed, then the Leviathan. Admiral Kroll saw it. It was massive, longer than any Zarkali city ship, thicker than a battle cruiser. It moved like a mountain through space. That ship, Kroll said, slowly was not in their last fleet. The sensors screamed. It's charging something. Unknown energy levels. The Leviathan's core glowed white. Kroll raised his clawed hand. Fire first. Zarkali ships launched all weapons at once. Missiles, plasma, dark matter bombs. A storm of death raced toward the Leviathan. But the Leviathan didn't stop. It didn't dodge. Instead, it opened its mouth. From the front of the ship, a huge circular ring unfolded. A deep hum filled the vacuum of space. The Nabeam. It was not a laser. It was not fire. It was light itself, pure white, silent. But wherever it passed, ships vanished. Not exploded, erased. 30 Zarkali warships gone in one breath. Admiral Kroll's eyes went wide. No one answered, because the Leviathan fired again. And again, each time, the Zarkali ranks fell back. Some ships exploded, others froze. Many turned around and ran. But Earth's fleet chased no one. They held their line, they defended. Mira's voice came through every ship. Let them see our strength. Let them remember our name. Let the stars echo one word: human. Back on Zarkal Prime, people watched the battle feed in silence. The mighty Armada, the pride of the Empire, was being broken by fewer ships, by humans, by deep Earth. A child looked up at his father and asked, "Are they gods?" The father didn't answer. He didn't know anymore. The battlefield was now a graveyard of fire and metal. Burned pieces of Zarkali warships floated in space like broken bones. The Leviathan had carved a path straight through the center of the enemy fleet. Every time it fired, the stars themselves seemed to blink. But it wasn't over, Admiral. Droll had not retreated. He stood tall inside his command bridge. The air around him was filled with smoke and sparks, but his voice remained strong. "Send in the Ravagers." The officer looked at him in shock. "But sir, the Ravagers are not ready." "They were built for one purpose," Kroll growled. "This is that purpose." At the edge of the battlefield, 3 Zarkali ships appeared. Dark, silent, massive. They were not normal ships. They were living weapons made from biometal and ancient Zarkali science. Their shape changed in the darkness. Their skin pulsed like it was breathing inside the human fleet. Warning alarms went off. "New enemy ships detected," shouted a human officer. "Unknown technology. They're alive." Captain Mira Holt narrowed her eyes. This must be their secret weapon. The 3 Ravagers moved fast, too fast. One of them charged straight at the Titan. It latched on, opened its jaw, and began to eat the hull like acid. Inside the Titan, lights flickered. The crew fought to hold power, shields failing. Someone yelled, "Get it off," Myra commanded. The Valiant swooped in and fired 2 plasma torpedoes into the Ravager's back. It screamed a deep, echoing sound that shook even Space Ant to let go. But another Ravager had already reached the Leviathan. This one didn't bite. It wrapped around the supership and began to drain its energy. Power levels dropped. The Leviathan's main cannon dimmed. Mira's voice came through the fleet's command channel. "Target the Ravagers. All ships protect the Leviathan." The humans responded fast. Every ship turned and fired. But the Ravagers were strong. They could twist. He'll adapt suddenly. One human destroyer exploded, then another. The tide was turning for the first time. The human fleet was losing ships. Inside the Leviathan, backup reactors kicked in, but it was not enough. The ship was too large. The Ravager too strong. Then Mira made a decision. She turned to her second officer. "Prepare the payload." He stared at her. "You can't be serious. That weapon's still untested." "We have no choice," she said. "If we don't stop them here, Earth will fall." In the heart of the Leviathan, a small black missile was unlocked. It didn't look special, but it held the most dangerous human weapon ever made. Project Silence. Not a bomb. Not a laser. A weapon that created a vacuum where energy could not. No shields, no light, no emptiness. The Leviathan's launch bay opened. The Ravager didn't notice. The missile fired, it didn't explode, it simply opened, and then everything around it went still. The Ravager's tentacles froze. Its body stopped glowing. It fell off. It's the Leviathan, like a dead insect. Its body turned gray. Then dust. The second Ravager tried to run, but the human ships chased it and destroyed it. With focused fire, the third was already badly damaged. Soon, all 3 Ravagers were gone. Destroyed, the Zarkali fleet had no more tricks left. Their formation broke, Their courage failed, one by one. The warships turned and jumped, aware retreating again. Inside the Leviathan, Mira took a deep breath. The battle was over, but not the war. Not yet. Back on Zarkal Prime, the High Council watched in silence. The human fleet had won again. And this time, the Zarkali had lost their most powerful weapons. Counselor Vaughn finally spoke. If this is how humans fight now, what will they become in 100 years? No one had an answer, but everyone had the same fear. The stars were quiet again, but this time it felt different. Human ships floated like giants in space. Their black holes still burned with power, wounded, tired, but undefeated. Inside the Leviathan, Captain Mira Holt stood in silence. Doctors worked around the wounded, engineers repaired the damaged systems. Smoke still rose from the walls, but the crew was alive. They had survived the largest battle Earth had ever faced. Mira looked at the screen. The Zarkali fleet was gone. What remained was debris, silence, and space dust. Still, she knew it was not over, not yet. They will come back, said her second officer quietly. Mira nodded. Yes, but next time, they might bring their entire empire. She walked to the command console and gave a single order. Prepare the signal. Back on Zarkal Prime, the High Council sat in silence. The latest report was simple. Ravagers destroyed. Leviathan survived. Human weapon unknown. Full retreat ordered. Earth still stands. No one spoke for a long time. Then the council leader leaned forward. Do we surrender? The room shook at those words. Surrender. The Zarkali Empire had ruled for 5,000 years. They had crushed entire systems. Counselor Drash hissed, "We will never kneel to humans." "But we are losing," whispered Counselor Varn. "No," said the council leader. "We are not losing. We are learning." He stood. "We will rebuild. We will return. This war is not over." Suddenly, a soft alarm sounded. An incoming transmission. Not Zarkali. Human. They froze. The council leader nodded. "Play it." The screen blinked. Captain Mira Holt appeared, calm, confident. Her voice filled the hall. "We know you are listening. We know you're proud. So are we." Her eyes were steady, her voice firm. "This war can end. But if you return again, we won't defend anymore. We will attack." The Zarkali council members sat straighter. "Galaxy is not only yours. Earth will no longer hide. And we are not alone." The screen changed. Behind Mira, allied ships appeared. Hundreds of them. Ships of other alien races. Old enemies, now human allies. The council leader clenched his fists. "We have friends now. We've seen enough war. But if you want one, we'll face more than humans." Mira leaned closer to the camera. "You'll face all of us." The message ended. The screen went black. No threats, no insults. Just truth. Far away, inside a peaceful system. The human fleet gathered. Ships from Earth. Ships from allies. The sky was filled with movement. Light and unity. For the first time, Earth stood not as a single planet, but as part of something greater. Captain Mira looked out at the stars. "This is how we win," she said quietly. "Not just with weapons, but with alliances." Her second officer smiled. "So what now?" She looked ahead. "Now, we wait and prepare." Back on Zarkal Prime, fear turned to anger. Counselor Drash slammed the table. "We must destroy Earth now, before others join them." But Counselor Varn shook his head. "No, we already tried that. They're stronger than we thought. Smarter, they made friends." The council leader raised his hand. "Enough. No more blind attacks. No more pride." He looked out at the dark sky. "We must change, or vanish." And so, for the first time in Zarkali history, a strange word was whispered in the halls of power. Peace, not out of kindness, but out of respect, fear, and awe. The galaxy had changed. Not because of a new law. Not because of a great king or a mighty empire. It changed because one species stood up when no one thought they could. Humans, the ones who were small, weak, slow, late to space now. Every race across the stars knew their name. They had seen the Leviathan. They had seen Earth's warships fight an armada and win. But it wasn't just strength, it was will, Captain. Myra Holt stood on the command deck of the Leviathan. Her uniform was still scratched from the last battle. Her body ached. But her spirit was strong. She looked out the wide window. The stars glowed softly. "Status report," she asked. Her officer replied, "Fleet in position. Defense satellites. Active. Allied ships holding at the rim." Mira nodded. "And the Zarkali?" "No movement. No attacks. Just silence." Mira turned to her crew. "This silence isn't fear," she said. "It's respect. Across the galaxy, planets that once hid from the Zarkali now raised their flags high. The Gralin, once slaves to Zarkali lords, declared independence. The Thrinians, long hunted for sport, built their own defense fleet with help from Earth's engineers. And the Valari, who had lost their world a century ago, now marched beside humans wearing Earth-made armored. Peace was spreading, but not the kind forced by power, the kind born from unity on Earth. People filled the streets. Cities that were once scared of alien attacks now celebrated. Statues were built of the Leviathan. Children wore space helmets and played Captain Mira versus the aliens. In schools, students studied alien languages. In theaters, movies showed the great battle and how the human fleet had turned the tide. But deep inside Earth's Defense Command, the leaders knew the truth. Peace was never permanent, and strength must always be ready one day. A small ship came to Earth. It had no weapons, no army, only 3 Zarkali diplomats. They requested an audience with the Human Council. Inside the Grand Earth Assembly Hall, they stood before human leaders. Captain Myra was also present. One of the Zarkali diplomats, older than most cities, stepped forward. "We came," he said, "not with pride, but with purpose." He looked at Myra. "You were once insects to us. Now you are giants." The hall was quiet. He bowed his head. "For the first time in our history, the Zarkali Empire requests a treaty." Gasps filled the room. A treaty from the Zarkali. The humans were silent. Then Mira stepped forward. "We will talk," she said. "But remember, this treaty is not because we want your fear." She looked at the crowd. "It's because we want your future." The treaty was signed under the stars in front of the Leviathan, the same warship that had once made the Zarkali freeze in terror, now watched as 2 enemies shook hands. The galaxy watched. Some cheered, some cried, some didn't understand, but all knew the galaxy would never be the same again. Later, someone asked Mira, "What changed everything? Was it the Leviathan?" "The weapon." She smiled and shook her head. "No, it was the moment they looked at us and saw humans, not insects, not prey. Equals." She paused. "And that changed the stars." Years passed. The warships rested in orbit. The Leviathan was turned into a museum, a place of memory. Children walked its long halls, touching the metal walls that once glowed with power, and under its great dome a message was carved. There. First glimpse of a human warship made them freeze, but it was our courage that made them kneel. HFY. Humanity, F***, yeah, ***.